Welcome back to SwitchCorner. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of my favourite deals across the Switch eShop. This video, I'm going to warn you now, it's like any price goes as we look across the US, Canada, UK, EU and AU eShops, so it can be a little painful on the old bank account. If you're looking for the cheaper side of things, then check out the Thursday edition. There we keep it all sub like $10 or your local currency. As always then though, I do have two winners to announce from last week's video to win one of two $10 eShop gift cards. We'll announce those as we work through today's list, but as always we do this giveaway every single week, so just drop a comment down below to enter for your chance to win and we'll be announcing those winners next week. With that then, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here, join our growing family and let's get started. So first up today, let's go big with Ashton and its steepest drop ever, coming in with 50% off. This game is incredible, and while I can easily recommend it at its full price, it's a must buy at this point. Ashton is a Souls-like, and that's not just me throwing the term around here, as popular as it may be to do that. It truly is taking a large proportion of its mechanics from that game, especially the stamina based combat. In fact, the controls in general super similar. That said though, it all takes place in a more stylized and artistic world where you control a warrior out to restore the light of a god, who in turn for your act will save this world from the darkness it's found itself plunged into. This isn't the easiest of games, but it's also far from the Souls-like level of difficulty, so I think many of you out there will find a lot to like. Basically they'll explore, take on some quests, get into some action with that stamina based combat, craft some goods and yeah, explore a little bit more. I was really impressed with this one and I would strongly consider it. So this next one then, it seemed to split audiences somewhat, but I really did enjoy it. Warhammer 40,000 Space Wolf. Here's how I would position this one. If you like turn-based combat, consider it. Like card deck building, consider it. Like Warhammer, especially that 40k universe, consider it. Like more than one of these areas, give it some serious consideration with its current 35% off. Here's the idea though, control small Space Wolf units and battle it out against the Servants of Chaos and the Necrons. I'm a big fan of games like XCOM, and this just got enough right in the turn-based area for me that I felt like it was more than worth the time I put in. Adding in the idea of then cards as well, every attack you make will be dictated by the card you choose. It made for an interesting kind of twist on things. There's a lot of game here though, 20 to 30 hours for a non-completionist run, so you'll for sure get your money's worth as well. One weird thing though I will say, on the eShop page it does state an internet connection is required to play. Never honestly noticed that before. Two quick ones now I've talked about before but always worth a mention. First, Children of Mortar, it's coming in with its biggest discount ever, now offering 40% off. If you haven't jumped into this one yet, I will say now may be the time. This one, it's a roguelike, but it has a heavy focus on story, and I've got to say it's a good one too. Basically you're in control of this family of heroes who are also the guardians of Mountain Mortar. You're there to basically vanquish any evil, meaning not only will you get to know these characters but actually get to control them as well, making for a playstyle that changes just slightly with each turn that I found kept me personally locked in a lot longer than many in the genre can. With local co-op then as well and strong support from the devs, highly recommended. Then second up we've got Hyperlight Drifter Special Edition, not quite the lowest price it's ever seen but close enough, and I wanted to mention this one alongside Children of Mortar. It's kind of similar in its style and combat and it's just absolutely stunning to look at. Why I like it as a contrast though is it's not a roguelite, so it may be for those of you out there who prefer more of a standard approach to progression. 45% off though right now, you will not regret this one, and honestly I'd happily give you AAA prices for this game and you wouldn't hear a single complaint from me. So one I've never got to talk about before is 2 Points Hospital. I love sim games like this, especially when I'm looking for something to kind of chill to, but I can also escalate that difficulty and challenge quickly if I want to by adding a whole lot of complexity. This week's announcement of Jurassic World Evolution for the Switch, though a game I actually liked, because who doesn't want to build a dinosaur theme park, it got me thinking about the genre and how it's kind of been on the Switch, and it kind of led me back here because Roller Coaster Tycoon was, well, let's face it, pretty weak. This though, just think Theme Hospital, the sequel we needed, the sequel we wanted. Great visual style, fun sense of humor where it's not too grounded in reality, and then yeah, it's got all these weird gadgets and story based modes where you need to meet expectations or cure illnesses. That not for you though, they even added a free update recently with a free play sandbox mode, which is where I actually find myself spending a lot of my time now. So Curious Expedition now, and I'll be honest with you, played it, own it, yet to beat it. Wanted to mention it today though because the sequel that's only on Steam right now, it just won Best Indie Game at the Gamescom Awards this week. So why not check out where it all started with this first entry. Hopefully we'll see that second one making its way to the Switch soon too. 25% off here though, easily the lowest price ever, and it's a roguelike expedition simulation set in the late 19th century. So yeah, you'll be taking on the role of famous historical personalities and developing in areas like fame, wealth and science. Can't give it my full recommendation, but I will say most that I read out there, they're pretty favourable, so check out a few reviews first if it sounds like something you might like. So our first winner of the week then, congrats to Olympho Dantas, who just dove into Dead Cells and its DLC. Incredible game, still on sale right now as well after I featured it in last week's video. They're adding this though to a really nice looking backlog of Call of Juarez, Dead West, Hands of Fate 2, NBA and Arcane. Olympho, I hope I'm getting the pronunciation right there, but drop me an email, it's in the description down below to claim your code. Second winner coming up later in the video, but remember, as always, drop your comment below now to enter for your chance to win this week. So my pickups of the week then, can't necessarily recommend them as always, I've either not played them or basically kind of just set out on starting them. But first, this is a rare one for me, but a launch day discount, West of Dead, and so far I've been playing it for a couple of days now and I am absolutely loving it, so I wanted to highlight it. It's essentially a roguelike where you play as a dead man that's voiced by the legendary Ron Perlman, and it's combining twin stick shooting with cover based strategy. Really impressed this far, the visuals especially are absolutely stunning. You can expect to see my full opinions on this one though in the next couple of days with a review roundup I'm putting together of 10 recently released games. Then a shout out to Chad for bringing this one to my attention, The Sinking City. It got solid reviews overall, and it's an adventure investigation game based in the universe of H.P. Lovecraft. What makes this so interesting right now though is the situation behind it. This game has been removed from Steam, and from what I know the Xbox and PS4 stores. Seems there's been a dispute between the developers and the publishers. It seems the publishers, they were behind on payments, they weren't being too supportive, but most interestingly, it sounds like they tried to delete the game entirely due to a conflicting IP that was coming up for release with a similar vibe, and it's just all sorts of weirdness. It's not good though, that's for sure, and with it disappearing from most stores, I figured it was probably time I grabbed it for my Switch, just to one, show my support, but two, maybe it will be taken down from the Switch eShop as well, and I don't want to miss out. Also, I will say I even went and grabbed the last local PS4 physical copy because I am a physical collector too, and it sounds like from here on out it's going to be pretty short in supply. I'll put a link down below though to the Twitter page so you can read kind of their statement on the situation. It's a really interesting read, and I'd suggest you take a few minutes out your time to go and take a look. As I said, video description down below, you'll find it there. So one more game then, our second winner, Moto GP 20. This one I reviewed on the channel 4 months back now. I gave it an above average 6 out of 10. While I wouldn't necessarily recommend it at full price, this is a pretty huge 40% off, and honestly, if you've considered it or if you're a fan of Moto GP, it's a solid entry. It has a decent selection of tracks, riders, it has some frame rate issues at times when it all gets a little bit busy on screen, but honestly, if you want to go fast on a bike without the whole death piece of the process, this might be the game for you. Our second winner of the week then, Shy Guy 2046, a name I've seen plenty of times in the comment section down below, so thanks so much. But he shouted out his list of wants the incredible Luigi's Mansion 3 and Xenoblade. Congrats Shy Guy, drop me an email, you'll find it in the video description down below. So our penultimate game of the week now then, Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition. This was actually a top pick for me a few months back now, or at least it feels like it was a few months back. Time sitting around playing video games and making videos takes on a whole different meaning during a lockdown. But yeah, look, incredible game. In fact, I'd go as far as to say with this one, a masterpiece. Offering 25% off, it makes it a new all-time low. It's a weird one, what takes on the form of a realist adventure game over 5 acts. Basically, head down a road on this journey and expect things to get stranger and stranger. A driver making the last delivery to a doomed antique shop. A woman who fixes TVs surrounded by ghosts. How about an eagle that just towers over you? Like your adventure games though, with a heavy dose of the strange, then head here because it's absolutely incredible. Also check out the amazing soundtrack as well, you need to take a listen to that. It's over on Spotify in all its electronic glory. So closing out this week's list then, Superliminal. I played it at release, I revisited it recently, and what a unique game this one is. With the release of Manifold Garden just like the last couple of weeks, this is a nice one I found to kind of play as a side dish. This one's offering 20% off for the first time though since launch, and I think that's more than a fair price for the clear brainpower that went into developing this. In this world, you fall asleep with the TV on at 3 AM. As you doze off, you remember the last moments of a commercial from a Dr. Pierce for a dream therapy program. When you wake, you are now a part of that program, about to embark on a maze where perception is reality, where everything is as it seems, where you'll use forced perspective and optical illusions to succeed. It's a lot of fun to make your way through, and you'll face a ton of moments that will seem so simple after you figure them out, but you will no doubt be stumped for some time actually getting to that point. And that is it, another week down. Again, congrats to the 2 winners this week. If you want to enter for your chance to win this week, just drop a quick comment down below. Then look, as always, a huge shout out to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, and yeah, thank you all so much. If you want to check that out for yourself, it's linked in the video description down below. Finally, look then, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family as we're quickly making our way now towards 12,000 subscribers, going for 20k this year, or at least by the end of the year, and you're all helping make that dream a reality. So thank you to all of you, from those that subscribe today to the many of you that have been with me since the very beginning. I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.